Hello friends! So this is part 2 of our story about a look inside space. So here we go. Bright starlight in the night sky, stars look far away, but one is closer to the earth than the rest. The sun. The sun is our star. The sun isn't solid like all stars. It's a massive ball of incredibly hot gas. Warning, never look straight at the sun. Its bright light can damage your eyes. Don't even look at it through sunglasses. A rocket from Earth would fly for 3 years before it reached the sun. Just as the moon goes around the Earth goes around the sun. Nighttime. So different parts of Earth get sunlight at different times. So this is daytime and this is nighttime, light and dark. It's so hot, it keeps us warm from 150 kilometers or 93 million miles away. That is so far. Nothing can live on the sun. The fiery surface is 60 times hotter than boiling water. Ouch. This jets of fiery gas called prominences shoot from the sun. This one is as long as the distance from Earth to the moon. Whoa. Stars are not star-shaped. Most are round, and they are enormous. That means very, very big. About 1 million Earths could fit inside the sun. Wow, the sun is huge, friends. The middle or core of the sun is around 3,000 times hotter than the surface. Explosions in the core create the sun's heat and light. The solar system. Earth is one of 8 balls of rock or gas called planets spinning around the sun. They are all part of our solar system. The sun is easily the biggest thing in the solar system. In fact, it's bigger than everything else put together. The sun's powerful gravity keeps all the planets from drifting off into space. The 4 planets nearest the sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, are made of rock and metal. Rocky planet Venus is very hot. A lump of metal there would melt like ice. Mercury is dotted with craters or holes. They were made by rocks smashing into the planet from space. If a rocket blasted off from Earth, it would fly for 6 months before reaching Mars. So Earth is here. Our planet Earth is the 3rd closest to the sun. On a clear night, you can see some planets without a telescope. They look like very bright stars, except they don't twinkle like stars. So we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Mars has valleys and volcanoes of red rock. Its nickname is the red planet because, imagine that, it's red. The tallest mountain on Mars is 3 times bigger than the highest on Earth. Wow. How big are planets compared to the sun? If the sun was the same size as a beach ball, Jupiter would be as small as a tennis ball, and Earth would be the size of a pea. Do you guys like to eat peas with your dinner? Lumps of rock called asteroids fly through the solar system. Scientists think that an asteroid hit Earth 65 million years ago, killing all the dinosaurs. How are stars made? Stars begin as clouds of gas and dust swirling through space. As the cloud gets thicker, the gases get hotter. Part of the cloud becomes a ball of glowing gas, and a star is born. Wow. can stars stop shining? Stars can last for billions of years, but eventually they run out of gas. Some stars get cooler and they grow layers of gas that puff away into space. All that's left is a tiny star called a white dwarf. Other stars get bigger and bigger until they explode in a brilliant burst of light. This is called a supernova. Wow, that is impressive. All right, here are the rest of our planets. So cool. Look at our solar system, guys. So fun. Okay, so we read earlier that if a rocket blasted off from Earth, it would fly for 6 months before reaching Mars. It would travel for 2 years before reaching Jupiter, and 4 years before reaching Saturn, right here, with its icy rings, and 12 years before reaching Neptune. So crazy. All right, so we talked about Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Now we're going to talk about Jupiter. Jupiter is by far the biggest planet in the solar system. Jupiter has what we call the Great Red Spot, and these stripes are different gases swishing around the planet Jupiter. Over 60 moons spin around the planet Jupiter. It is giant. Jupiter's red spot is a storm that's lasted for hundreds of years. Look at that storm, friends. It's like a tornado. That's so cool. Comets are lumps of ice moving in long orbits around the sun. Can you guys see that? Whoa. When comets fly close to the sun, they start to melt and they leave a bright tail through space. That's so cool. The next planet is Saturn. Saturn is circled by these beautiful rings. You all see that? Here we go. The rings are made of chunks of ice and rock. Some chunks are as big as a car. Others are as small as pebbles. The 4 planets furthest from the sun, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, are balls of liquid gas. These planets don't have solid surfaces, so spaceships can't land on them. They have a rocky core on the inside, but the outside is made of gas. These dotted lines show the paths, orbits of the planets as they go around the sun. So, can you guys see that tiny dotted line? It's a little bit hard to see on the camera, I think. Aha, there it is. Tiny little dotted line. And that's its orbit. So each planet has their own orbit around the sun. These are easier to see, I think. See those dotted lines here and here? Those are the orbits of those planets going around the sun, and each planet has their own. So Saturn, and then next we find Uranus. Gases swirling around Uranus and Neptune make these 2 planets look green and blue. Uranus and Neptune. How are the planets made? Planets are made of gas and dust that's left over after the stars form. As it swirls around, the star, it joins on into the rocks or balls of gas. Eventually, these balls become planets. Scientists think that Earth was made like this around 4.5 billion years ago. But we know better, don't we? How was the Earth made, friends? Who knows? Who knows how the Earth was made? God created it. So here is a smaller version of the solar system. The sun is in the middle, and then we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Kind of bebop back and forth. But they will be in different places at different times in their orbit. So they all make a full circle around the sun. So this is where they put them for this book, but the planets will always be in a different spot because they're constantly moving. It's pretty neat. Glittering galaxies. Wow, isn't that beautiful, friends? Glittering galaxies. Stars aren't just sprinkled through the space. They gather together in vast, dazzling groups called galaxies. Our sun is just one of 200,000 million stars that make up this spectacular spiral galaxy called the Milky Way. The stars in a galaxy are very far apart. Astronomers measure the distance in light years. 1 light year is how far a beam of light travels in 1 year. That's about 9.5 trillion kilometers or 6 trillion miles. Old stars die inside galaxies, and new stars form there too. That's so pretty. Look at those stars forming. How many galaxies are in the universe? Too many to count. Most galaxies are too far away for us to see, even with powerful telescopes. 5,000,001, 5,000,002. They're counting the galaxies. There's a bright bulge in the middle of most galaxies. Giant red stars gather here. These are the oldest stars in the galaxy. What's at the middle of our Milky Way? A black hole. Black holes are formed when a star dies and its gases are crushed into a ball. A black hole's gravity is so strong that it sucks everything in around it in space. That is so cool. Look at that. Look at that black hole right in the middle. Wow. Together, all of the galaxies and everything else in space are known as the universe. Galaxies are very far apart from each other in space. But sometimes 2 galaxies come together and form an even bigger galaxy. Isn't that beautiful, friends? Look at that. They came together. Our own solar system is somewhere around here. This is the Milky Way. And this is generally where we are. That's so cool. On a very clear night on Earth, you can see some of the Milky Way's dazzling arms. Look at that. How cool, friends. It looks like spilled milk in the sky. That's how the Milky Way got its name. A rocket would take millions of years to fly from one side of our Milky Way to the other. The Milky Way is shaped like a disc with a bulge in the middle. From the side, it looks like 2 fried eggs stuck together. Do you see that, friends? 2 eggs stuck together. That's so cool. Galaxies come in lots of shapes and sizes. This one is the cartwheel galaxy. Look how fun that is. This is the elliptical. Right here, elliptical galaxies are shaped like an egg. And the sombrero galaxy looks like a special type of hat. Oops, sorry, you can't see that. Elliptical galaxy, sombrero galaxy. So neat. Okay, friends. this is where I'm going to stop the video, but I will have another one, a third part that will have the rest of our story in it, so you guys can hear the rest of this. See you soon.